Where am I? Is the usual question. In your case, when might be more apt.
Very well, you old snake. If you'd prefer I use my bare hands...
This is completely unexpected. This orb disables our vampire enemies, leaving them helpless and incapacitated. Strangely, it seems to have the same effect on that peculiar weapon of yours. But you must believe me. I mean you no harm.
You can drop the benevolent facade, Mobius. I know who and what you are. I should kill you where you stand.
Perhaps you should, my boy. But you don't.
Are you so certain of that, Mobius?
My role as Time Guardian affords me a certain level of omniscience, Raziel. No, you don't kill me. That honor belongs to your maker, Kain, some 30 years from now.
You two are a pair. You're just as fatalistic as he is.
Death comes for us all, Raziel. It's just a matter of time.
How is it that you know my name? We have never met.
On the contrary, Raziel, I know you very well. And it grieves me to see how cruelly Kain has used you. I knew you when you were one of the Sarafan Brotherhood, Raziel. We were even close.
Oh, please.
Fortunately, you need not love me now to be my ally.
Are we within the stronghold of the Sarafan priesthood?
Yes, but the glorious days of the Sarafan have long since passed, I'm afraid. This is a more cynical and indecorous age. My mercenary army now inhabits this stronghold. We strive to honor the memory of the Sarafan with our own humble crusade.
Is this the vampire Vorador?
Yes, the scourge of the Circle, the most depraved and decadent example of his whole degenerate race. He slaughtered 6 of my fellow Guardians as they cowered defenseless in this room.
And you somehow survived this massacre?
I and 2 others. The Circle was devastated. Only we 3 were spared.
How convenient. You'll forgive me if I don't naively devour every scrap of information you toss me. You have a reputation for deceit.
And who has slandered me so? Your malefactor, Kain? The one who betrayed and destroyed you? Our common enemy? Consider the source before you judge me too harshly. We'll forget about rekindling our old friendship then, but consider an alliance based on our common ground. We both want Kain dead. I can help you do it.
You don't want to meddle in this, old man. I know all about your sordid little schemes, but you're simply out of your depth on this one.
You underestimate me, Raziel. Let me show you. Even now, Kain is lying in wait for you, unaware that I've snatched you out of the time stream and brought you here to me. See how he lingers at the very pillars he is destined to destroy, foolishly confident that he has eluded your grasp.
The pillars are still standing in this time.
Yes, Raziel. They are the embodiment of the divine force which preserves the life of our world. We who serve the pillars maintain their delicate balance, and Kain is destined to be the fulcrum upon which that balance turns. I believe you have already endured the wasteland wrought by his terrible, selfish decision. Kain's very existence is a cancer upon this world. As long as he lives, all of Nosgoth is in peril. You may never again be human, Raziel. But you can re-embrace the essence of your humanity, and the nobility of your Sarafan heritage. Go to him, Raziel, and end this. But first, you will need to find your way out of the stronghold, and in this, I'm afraid I cannot help you. My soldiers will not understand your appearance here. They will try to kill you. You needn't fear them, of course. They're no match for you. Try to keep the casualties to a minimum. But do what you have to do. All great movements require a few martyrs.
Yo guys, what's going on? This is Jason coming back with another review, and today we're going to be taking a look at Soul Reaver 2 that came out on the PS2, Xbox back in 2001. Now, I'm not going to go over the history of the first game because I've already went over the history of the first game in the first review. So if you want to check that out, check out Soul Reaver 1. I'll leave a link below. But we're going to be talking about Soul Reaver 2, and we're just going to jump right into it. So the story evolves around Raziel wanting vengeance against Kain, his maker, for what he did to him. But you find out later in the game that, there's a bigger role for Raziel. That it isn't just a coincidence that this is all happening. Everything's happening for a reason. There's a higher calling that Raziel's apparently unaware of at the time. And this is what the game really focuses on. It focuses on Raziel discovering his role in Nosgoth, and you find out he's a character that plays a savior. He's supposed to be like the messiah of Nosgoth. Of course, he comes across characters like Mobius, the time streamer, who wants to use Raziel to kill Kain so he can get Kain out of the way, so Mobius can continue doing his manipulation of controlling time and abusing his power, and also serving his master. That's actually the Elder God, you find out. And of course, you come across other characters like Vorador, who, tends to play more of a side character who tends to question your business here. He doesn't really do anything for the story, but question what you're doing here. And also throw a few philosophical ideas to get Raziel motivated on, his place in Nosgoth. And then you come across another character called Janus Origin. Now, Janus Origin is practically the godfather of vampires. He is the guy who knows all, and becomes Raziel's mentor. But at a short period, because the Sarafan priests come in and take Janus Origin's heart and take it back to the Sarafan stronghold. Now you find out that the game does kind of cover the Sarafan age, and that's practically Raziel's past, because Raziel was a Sarafan priest at one point. So it's kind of interesting when you look at this game, because it's just the way they went around it is that you put your own brothers in their graves. Okay, you kill your own brothers to put them in the tomb so Kain can resurrect them. But what's also interesting is at the end of the game, everything you worked for, you find out that your true destiny isn't just to save Nosgoth, but it's also your damnation. Because by saving Nosgoth, Raziel finds out that his true destiny is to be imprisoned into the Soul Reaver. Okay? So practically what happens is that Raziel learns about his destiny, but he's also afraid of it, because he knows that his destiny will be imprisoned in the Soul Blade, the Soul Reaver Blade. And that's where the third game kicks in with the Legacy of Kain Defiance. Now, overall, I like the Soul Reaver 2, man. The first game goes from being a vengeful character, from being a character who seeks truth and seeks honesty, where all these other forces are trying to manipulate Raziel, like Mobius the Time Streamer, the Elder God, and the demons. There's demons in this game that try to prevent Raziel from fulfilling his goal. So there's all these forces trying to tell Raziel, trying to prevent Raziel from finding out his true purpose. And it will actually leaves a cliffhanger for the third game that actually will be Legacy of Kain Defiance. Overall, I love the story. The story is really rich with historical details on culture and vampirism and who the ancient vampires were against the ancient Hilden and a lot of the other cool stuff. Now, the music in the game is really good. You know, it's practically an orchestra score that belongs in the movie. And you also have the fact that you got the legendary voice actors from the first game that played their roles flawlessly. Okay? Now the gameplay, I say, does change a little bit because from the first game it was really repetitive, but it didn't really affect the gameplay. But this one, you actually have other weapons. You have, of course, the spear, the staff, and you have some swords and some other cool stuff. And you can still switch into the spectral realm and material realm. Now, one thing I have to say is that the Soul Reaver blade that is around your Raziel's arm, unlike the first game, it would disappear if you got hit, and you had to replenish your health to regain it back. In Soul Reaver 2, you don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is just use it wisely, because if you use it too much, it will. If the Reaver blade becomes aroused, it will start feeding off you. So you have to start using the Soul Reaver with a bit more care, and usually it comes in handy with the bigger enemies like the demons and shit. Yeah, so basically the Soul Reaver has a bit of a cool gimmick where the more you use it, the more powerful it gets, but it also has a side effect against Raziel, because if it gets too aroused or too powerful, should I say, it will start feeding off you. So be careful how you use Reaver Blade. Overall, I'm giving this game a 5 out of 5. Now, this game is just like the first one. It just looks better, and it has a few things in it that do play better and just add to that excellent gameplay. And of course, the story, man, is already good. Like the Legacy of Kain series is overall a good series because it's practically one story. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna leave the review of that. Please like, share, subscribe, and until next time, I'll see you later.